Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. You know, I've been talking about the new and improved U.S. Daily Review. It's going to be launching any day now. People will see it and just go, wow, it's incredible. And one of the things that make it incredible is not only the new look it's going to have, but the great contributors and editors we have involved, including Sissy Lappin. She is the Prestige Properties editor for Houston. They're at usdailyreview.com. But she also writes some great articles on what's happening on the economic front in a perspective that only a person who's actually in business could provide. She has recently written a column, an article there that, at usdailyreview.com that you can see today on the problem of inflation. It's one of the featured articles, in fact, on inflation. And is inflation coming? Old Money thinks so. I want to talk about that. But Sissy has been gone for a while on a trip to France. And it was, I would say, just from our chat before the interview, a real combination of business and pleasure.
It was a real combination of business and pleasure. I had the pleasure of going with 3 people from Houston that really have had record-breaking years. Ken Newberry, who's Newberry Campa, who's an architect who's done some of the amazing homes in Houston. He was with me. And Ruth Gay, who owns a company called Chateau Domaine. Chateau Domaine is an architectural element firm that they go into like an old farmhouse and they buy the mantles, they buy the roof, they buy the floor, literally before it even hits the market. She has such a strong clientele. They call her. She's over there, I'd say, every 6 weeks minimum. And it's based out of Houston. And a lot of Houstonians don't even realize this is here. I mean, we were talking Oprah Winfrey bought her flooring there. Kanoa Reeves, Don Henley of the Eagles, Giselle and Tom Brady have been in there. It's really kind of a treat. She sells throughout the country. And, you know, the article I did on is inflation coming? The big money seems to think so. You know, it's kind of like success leaves clues. So I've been observing what has been going on in the past 2 years in Houston. And I mean, we have got not just record-breaking sales, but we have record-breaking numbers as far as the value cost of a home. I mean, we are talking big ticket homes are selling. Now, you know, those buyers, they don't sell with multiple offers, but they sell, you know, within 6 months. People, you know, we never thought we'd have, if you put, let's say, a $10 million listing on, you thought you'd get one showing every 6 months. That is not the case in this city now. And Kevin, you know, what we were discussing earlier is this is big money. This is, I call it the dusty money. You know, it's the money to watch, and they are all strategically placing themselves for inflation and putting their money in real estate and putting their money in their homestead.
Yeah, I had a guest on earlier this week who's been on Fox News, CNBC, and several other websites. He's kind of a national analyst on what's happening in the home front. And he says it's become very difficult for individuals to get first-time homes, you know, their first home, because they're competing against all these investors who are storing up homes to use for renting.
Well, you know, it's interesting. I was in Phoenix about 8 months ago at a real estate seminar. And what's happened in Phoenix, it's a little bit of a, you know, or in Las Vegas, when you hear these markets have come back, they really haven't come back. Houston has come back because of our job source. But what's happened is there are huge hedge funds going in there, or funds, you know, going in there, and they're going in there with $50 million, and they're buying the whole bank's foreclosure portfolio, and then they're leasing them out. And it's a cash flow. You're seeing a lot of doctors get into these funds. That's, you know, you're exactly right. It is the investor in a lot of these cities that have made the home sales go up. And sometimes I wish the National Association of Realtors would differentiate in their figures when they say that home, you know, sales have gone up, that they have an investor category and they have a homeowner category, because I think that you've got to know those two numbers to really get a true, accurate picture of the market.
Yeah, absolutely. I want everyone to check out that article over there. Really well done, very interesting. And what I like about your writing style is that you make this very important information easy to understand for anyone, which to me is the hallmark of good writing. So I appreciate that about what you do. I also want to talk real quickly before we talk about France. I want to spend some time in France, since I can't actually get there. I can do it vicariously through you. But talk about your book. Great news you were giving me about that. That's just phenomenal.
There's a trend in the market, and it's just the reality. We are not faced with it in Houston as much because we have, thank goodness, the Houston Association of Realtors that's done a great job with our website. But there are a lot of, it's kind of like when you get out of Texas, there are a lot of people that basically their homes were 25% less than they paid for it. Then when you added real estate commission on top of that, they are just too buried. They've got to sell their home on their own. They do not have any pockets to dip into. They don't have that money to bring to the table. So I saw a lot of this when I was traveling throughout the country. So I decided, you know what, instead of trying to hinder these people, we've got to help these people. And also it's a big group over 65 that their equity is their 401k.
Wow. Yeah.
So I decided to write a book called Simple and Sold. And basically the joke was it is the book on exactly what I do. If I got hit by a bus, somebody could pick this book up and continue what I do.
That's a great thesis. I hope you don't get hit by a bus. But it's a great thesis. I love that idea.
So anyway, I posted the book, hard copies and also an ebook on Amazon. And I got an email from Amazon, and I was absolutely shocked. It had over 12,000 downloads during the month of July and became the #1 business and finance book on Amazon on the ebook downloads.
Wow, that's fantastic. And what do you attribute that to?
A couple of people wrote about it. The other thing is in Amazon, I'm learning more and more about this. They have what's called their top 20 reviewers. 2 of their top 20 reviewers somehow got the book and both gave it 5 stars. And that is
certainly helps.
Huge.
Yeah.
So that was a tremendous help.
Yep, Simple and Sold. If you go to Google.com or actually Amazon.com and put in Simple and Sold, her book comes up #1.
And you know what? Anybody who's thinking about selling their home, I suggest they read it because, as I always say, there are no $1,000 mistakes in this business. Mistakes start in tens of thousands of dollars, and it's a good thing just so you'll have kind of guide on how to work with your real estate agent, even if you want to go that direction.
Yeah, absolutely. And wrap it up. We're going to have to do another segment on France, but kind of give us a taste of what we'll be looking for. I'm sure you'll be writing about it some as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm in the process of doing a blog about it. Houston secretly has kind of become a very strong design center throughout the country. As I said, Ken Newberry, an incredible architect, Kara Childress, an amazing designer, and Ruth Gay, who brings in the most beautiful architectural elements to add to a home. Just all about France, all about the architecture. Less is more, simple is elegant kind of thing, to add value to homes.
Yeah.
And we're seeing a big trend of it, modern with the old mixed.
Yeah. Absolutely. Very good stuff, Sissy Lappin. She is a Price of Business editor for the, one of my favorite areas, actually, is real estate. She is the editor of Prestige Properties here in the Houston area. You can check her out, of course, at usdailyreview.com. She has one of the featured stories there for this week. And also, you can find her at Sissy Lappin, it's Lappin Properties.
Lappin Properties.
LAPPIN Properties.com.
You got it.
Yeah, thanks so much as always.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, when we come back, much more for you. Doing our Mind You best content here. Show us up over there at usdailyreview.com. While there, like it on Facebook, follow it on Twitter.